Let's talk more about the market, reviewing more about the month of May. And we have our financial market analyst, Nabila Mohammed, with Chapel Hill Denham to give us details about that. Thank you for joining us, Nabila.
Thank you for having me. Good afternoon.
Okay, so I'm sure you're quite aware that this market has been very, very impressive, very, very productive for most of the markets there. Now, give us more details about why did we see this more like an upsurge in the market within the month of May?
So, like I had your discussion earlier on where you were saying selling my me and grey away or something like that. But the truth is that our market has actually changed. It's unlike before where we had foreign investors really leading transactions or dominating the market in terms of volume and value of transactions. Now we're seeing more domestic participation and people are becoming more enlightened, more aware in terms of how to view and play the market. So we're seeing that play out, and that's why we did not necessarily see that particular notion play out in this year. And again, like you rightly mentioned, May 2025 is the best performing month for equities market. We see that with the month-on-month gain of around 6%, it pushed the year-to-date returns to as high as 8.56%. And prior to May, what we noticed was that the local currency bonds were really the ones, like the Naira bond index was up around 9% on a year-to-date basis. But with this particular May performance in the equities market, it has, sort of closed that gap. We're still at 9% for the local currency bonds, and we're now at 8.56% for the ASI. So it was a good month. And when we even looked at the stocks that contributed to the gains that we saw in the market, we saw like around 10 of them contribute around 96% of the gains that the market recorded on a year-to-date basis. We are seeing the likes of MTN, the likes of Airtel, the likes of Fresco, Boa Foods, Zenith Bank, just to mention, but a few really contribute to the gains that we saw in the market in the month of May, and even from a year-to-date standpoint. So really, it has been a good run. And with how market moves, when you see some level of profit being gained, there's also going to be some level of profit taking as well. So with that notwithstanding, we are still positive that through the course of the year, the equities market will still remain strong in terms of returns.
Okay, so now today is the first trading day of the month of June, and of course, June is also the month that will mark the end of the second quarter. So what are investors to expect within the start of the week and for the rest of the month of June?
So for now, intraday, we're seeing interest in Nigerian breweries. We're seeing interest in Zenith Bank. We're also seeing interest in MTN, sustained interest in MTN. And it's all because there is an expectation that recovery, especially in the consumer goods space, will continue to be the story. We've seen stability in FX. We've seen most of them revamp their books in order to make sure that whatever FX obligation or exposures that they have are well catered to. So all these are positive flows that will definitely feed into their performances. And I think investors are just positioning themselves well ahead of that particular transformation that would happen, especially in the manufacturing space and the consumer goods space. And if you even look at it in terms of indices, this consumer goods index is actually up over 5% on a year-to-date basis. In fact, in the month of May alone, it was one of the best performing indices as far as the indices that we cover are concerned. Consumer goods index was up around 18%. So we'll definitely continue to see such interest. But again, there is that downside risk, which is the fact that investors would like to lock some of the gains that they reaped in the month of May. So there will be some level of slight profit taking, but barring any unnecessary or any unforeseen news flow that could weigh in on investor sentiment, these are what we expect to be the story as far as June is concerned and the end of the second quarter is concerned.
Okay, Nabila, we thank you so much for your analysis, and of course we keep our eyes on the markets, how the month of June starts and how it ends. Intraday has been green, but we hope that it keeps that positive momentum for the close of Monday's trading session. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having me.